Okay, take two. This is Jaden here from tXL, and Apple expects a lot from the Apple Watch. But will it succeed? Let's find out. Okay, so today, instead of a normal daily video, since yesterday was the Apple event, we're going to be doing a full coverage on the Spring Forward event. A little bit of quick info in case you didn't know. Of course, it's from Apple, held on March 9th of 2015, in case you're watching this sometime later. It was entitled Spring Forward. What we mostly got was the Apple Watch and the MacBook. Okay, real quick overview of what we have on the docket today. First up is the Apple TV. It's kind of nice to hear something from that. MacBook, which is our personally favorite part of the event. The Apple Watch, a bit of facts, and then a conclusion. Okay, let's start off with the Apple TV. And the big news here is HBO Now, which is HBO's standalone streaming service for $14.99 a month. That's a little excessive. And comes out in early April. And if you buy in April, you get the first month free, and you will have it in time for the April 12th premiere of Game of Thrones, and is exclusive to the Apple TV and iOS products. Weirdly enough, no Mac is mentioned on that list. I don't know if it is available on the Mac or not, but we did not hear anything about Mac, which is kind of weird. Also, that is for the first 3 months. It's exclusive to them. So the Apple TV got a very welcomed price drop. It was $99 and was actually a pretty good deal for $99. But now it's down to $69. That's a $30 price cut. And that's a really good deal. Okay, some quick opinions. I said that the Apple TV was a pretty good set box, and now an amazing price. Andre, which you'll meet this week, I promise, that is a much better price for a very good device. Aha, rhyme. Okay, let's move on to the MacBook. First of all, let's get the specs out of the way. We have a 1.1 GHz dual-core Intel Core M processor, or you can upgrade to the 1.2 GHz. 8 GB of RAM, 256 GB of an SSD, or if you choose to upgrade, 512 GB. Intel HD graphics, 802.11 Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth 4.0. And in terms of battery, a 39.7 watt-hour battery, whatever that means, that is expected to give about 9 hours of battery life. Looking from the spec sheet, it doesn't look that good. But moving on to design, we have a full-sized keyboard, of which Apple is claiming full-sized. But here's a little hint, it's not, it's just a smidgen too short. But then again, there's no fully universally accepted definition of a full-sized keyboard. But how this is noted is that it's actually just slightly smaller than your normal keyboard that you find on most keyboards and laptops. That's how it's measured. So yeah, Apple can still claim it's a full-sized keyboard, even though it's not officially. This also uses a butterfly mechanism, which, when I heard this term, I was first confused because I didn't recognize it. Then I actually watched the demo, and I realized what it was, and it's a new mechanism that, instead of the normal scissor mechanism that you normally have, which looks like scissors, where the best place to press was in the very bottom center of the key. So you'd be centered in the key, but you'd be at the very bottom of it. That was always the best place to strike the key. Getting on the corners would create some inaccuracy and stuff like this. But with a butterfly mechanism, since it has basically all the connectors to the actual physical key itself are on all 4 corners, so no matter where you strike it, it presses evenly and is a lot thinner. Also, with the keyboard, it defines the size of the laptop, but each of the keys is lit by an individual LED, with a few exceptions, mostly being those with little symbols up at the top, like the caps lock button, the return button, the command and control, and all of those function keys do not are a single LED. We're able to fit that. In terms of display, you have a 12-inch Retina display at 2304 by 1440 pixels, yielding a 226 pixels per inch. This is a Retina display, so it's amazingly beautiful. Pretty much right off the bat, you hear Retina and you know it's good. But it is pretty small, but then again, the largest laptop Apple has is a 15-inch laptop, and most of them are either 13 or 11 inches, which by today's standard is pretty small. For example, I'm rocking a 15.6-inch laptop in front of me, and in terms of the body and the main design, an all-metal unibody aluminum design. This is 100% metal. Just solid metal. Glowing Apple logo's gone, but it comes in 3 colors: silver, rockin' looking gold, and a beautiful, breathtaking, purely amazing space gray, which is my personal favorite. Okay, it also is 13.1 millimeters thick. That's millimeters. It's 24% thinner than the MacBook Air, and is only 2 pounds. Those two facts right there are just mind-blowing. The fact that it's 13 millimeters thick and only 2 pounds light. In terms of, this is what really has people on edge, is the USB Type-C, also known as USB 3.1. We've seen this at CES for the past couple years, I believe. In terms of specs, it's reversible, which is wonderful. I love reversible cables. It has a max speed of 10 gigabits per second. We don't even have a lot of Wi-Fi wireless that is that amazing. And it's compatible through adapters, of course, with USB power sources, which is why it's powering the MacBook, HDMI, VGA, and DisplayPort. That's very, very cool. The fact that one little tiny USB that's, you know, a little thicker than a lightning port, actually a bit thicker than micro USB would be probably a better comparison. The fact that it's compatible with that many things is mind-boggling. Very much mind-boggling. Okay, our opinions on the matter is, I believe it's awesome looking laptop and just an overall okay laptop, but for a way too high a price up there. For the lowest end model, you get it for $12.99. The higher end model with the 1.2 gigahertz processor, you get it for $15.99. What? My thoughts here is, Apple, what are you thinking? You're basically trying to sell it on design only. And it's worked before for Apple, but it's not going to do them very well this time. I'm pretty dang sure. But we'll have an update later on in terms of sales when we actually hear some facts on those sales. Andre believes that it's pretty revolutionarily awesome with way too high price. That's pretty much universal here. Okay, moving on to the Apple Watch, we won't be doing a lot with it because, well, it's pretty much, we're basically going to recap what we did yesterday. There are 3 different variants: the Sport, regular watch, and Edition. And we'll be covering those real quick. Apple Watch Sport is made of all anodized aluminum. For the 38mm option, you get it for $349, which is pretty pricey for a smartwatch. For the 42mm option, you get it for $399. but it's still a pretty sturdy looking thing. We haven't obviously gotten to test it, and there have not been a lot of tests available for us. Pretty high priced, even for the low end model. Okay, moving on to the Apple Watch. This is just our regular version, which naming was kind of a little weird here. But it comes in stainless steel with 38mm option. You range from $549 up to $1,049, depending on what band you choose, which is kind of ridiculous. With 42mm option, you range from $599 to $1,099, depending on your band. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Changing the watch price because of the band is insane. It's just stupid. Like, I would have been able to understand if it's like 10 or 20 bucks difference. But up to adding that $500 onto the price of an already overpriced watch, it's just stupid. Moving on to the absolutely insane Apple Watch Edition. It's made of 18 karat gold. For the 38mm option, as cheap as you're gonna get it, 10 grand. Moving on to the highest, you can get the 13mm option, 17 grand. In terms of the 42mm option, it gets even crazier. Starting price is 12 grand, ranging all the way up to 20 grand for a smartwatch that's first generation. And the only difference between it and the $12,000 option is the band. That's just insane. My opinions on the matter is that it's not gonna do as well as Apple hopes and wants, and kind of, in some respects, needs, I guess, if it wants to make that $1 trillion company goal. But it will do better than most and will help the market, mostly in terms of marketing. Because when Apple starts doing something, you know people are going to hear about it. And then when people realize Android Wear is already there, it's going to help the entire market as a whole. Andre says that it's unexpected. We really didn't expect it, and that was kind of true. We weren't expecting this, most specifically. It's very unpredictable. It can change, and it can make Apple a $1 trillion company, would lose their spot as #1 most valued company in the world. Okay, let's start off with facts, and this is by the numbers. You'll hear this tomorrow, and we'll get to what tomorrow is also. But we're just going to go over numbers that were in the keynote that have something to do to give you a quick overview. Okay, 3-9, March 9th, of course, is what I'm talking about. 145, it was an hour and 45 minutes long. This is approximate. I rounded as best as I can. 700, this is millions of iPhones sold. One is claiming to be the #1 selling smartphone in the world. I honestly wouldn't be surprised, because a lot of people see new iPhone and they want to buy it because, first of all, Android, yeah, it's cool, but a lot of, as a study recently shown, a lot of people really don't understand it, and they just want something that works and that looks kind of cool. So that's why iPhones are pretty popular. 98, this is the percentage customer satisfaction score for iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, which is just off the charts here. 69, this is the new price in dollars for the Apple TV. $14.99, this is the price per month for HBO Now. 2,500, this is the number of banks that are with Apple Pay. 12-inch MacBook with 13 millimeters thick, 2 This is how much it weighs, 2 pounds. 67, this is the percentage that the logic board is smaller than the MacBook Air's logic board. 67% smaller. Mind-boggling number. 5 ports in one for the USB Type-C, also known as USB 3.1. $12.99, the price for the new MacBook. That's baseline. $349, this is the baseline price for the Apple Watch. It's insane. Okay, the question of the day. Will the Apple Watch succeed? More specifically, will Apple actually keep its hopes up? Also, if you want to subscribe for more awesome event coverage, like if you're excited for the new MacBook like I am, and comment down below with your thoughts on the matter. I hope to see you in the next video tomorrow where we will be recapping this event, which is currently taking us almost 16 minutes to recap. We'll be trying to recap it in just 5. Okay, stay tuned tomorrow, and we'll see you later. Also, don't forget to check out annotations, whether they be on the calendar, on the door, or on the book up there. I'll see you next time. This has been Jaden.